talking about tonight? Felt like something was weird. And I was just trying to connect, you know?
Yeah, I felt that. I mean, when you asked me my biggest fear in the sex shop, that felt weird.
That was awkwardly timed. Okay. I'm just gonna lay it all out there. I don't want this to be a rebound. I want it to be something real. And maybe that's lame to say, but I guess I'm okay with that. I'm not just looking for something fun. And if you are, that's totally cool. You don't owe me anything. I would just like to know.
Yeah, no, here's the truth. Actually, I've never done this before and it's feeling very scary. Would you mind turning around?
What?
Sure, fine, I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. Noah, my mom is really emotional and it always pushed my dad away. And I'm not saying that's what made him gay, but it certainly didn't keep him straight. And I always tried really hard not to be like that. And yes, sometimes I do weird shit and I can be impulsive and obsessive. And I did Google your ex-girlfriend and I'm really sorry that you had to see that.
I didn't see that.
Oh. Well, I only did it that once. And my biggest fear is a bad facelift, but I think I'm realizing an even bigger fear. It is this. That I will become emotionally dependent on a guy who will one day realize that I'm too much and break my heart. Was that the most unattractive thing you've ever seen?
No. It's the most attractive. I want this. I want all of this.
But are you gonna do that, Noah? Are you gonna break my heart?
It would truly kill me to break your heart.
Alright, so this show, Nobody Wants This, is actually a good show. I like it. I think it was like 10 episodes. This scene, what I like is, I feel a healthy marriage, it requires this type of honesty. Because I know sometimes I feel embarrassed to tell my wife something. Even though I feel embarrassed, like I'd rather just get it off my chest and let her know what it is, good, bad, or indifferent. And like if I'm missing her throughout the day, something like that, I'll let her know. Usually she'll have a smile, look a little embarrassed, but that's about it, right? So I do like how we got up to this scene. Noah, his character, he is a rabbi. And he was previously dating a woman. And he broke up with her because she found a ring. He was going to propose. She was all up in his business, looking around his whole house for this ring, knowing that they're going to get engaged. But he was like, this is my job to do, not for you just to assume this is going to happen. So, and Joanne, her character, her and her sister, they have a podcast. They talk about sex and everything else under the sun. They met at a party. They had a little connection, but the issue for him, he has to be with someone who is Jewish. She is not Jewish. She's a Shikska. I think that's pronunciation they have in the show for someone who's a non-Jew. So in this scene, he's just really wants to understand, put himself out there. Like, I don't want this to be a rebound thing. I actually want to pursue something with you. Not knowing how it's going to work if they get to the part where they want to marry each other, because he can't marry her if she's not a Jew unless she wants to convert. So that's how we end up at this scene. So what I like to take away from this one is just like, always be upfront with your spouse, good, bad, or indifferent. Even though you may be embarrassed to say something, good, bad, or indifferent, doesn't really matter. I always feel embarrassed to say certain things to my wife, even though it's mostly a compliment or something of that nature. I don't know why I'm embarrassed, but that's just the way I feel. And if you're married long enough, I don't know if you will still have that embarrassment, or just, okay, they're used to it now, so you guys are used to each other as far as all the things you guys been through, depending on how long you guys been together. So that's one thing I want to have people take away from this scene, is like, if you feel something or some way about your spouse, go ahead and let them know, especially a woman, because she really would probably appreciate it more often than not.
Okay, somebody's number one. There was a moment where they said it was a weird moment at the sex shop. Number one, I have been to many a sex shop. I don't know if you're surprised or not, but if you're in a sex shop, guess what? All those weird moments go out the window, because you're in a sex shop. You see everything that's in there. Toys, things that vibrate, things that you put on. There's no weird moments, okay? This is the weird moment if you're gonna have it. But if you walk in there, too bad, you drop everything. But here we go. Jay now has brought up another crush of mine that I used to have, which is Kristen Bell. Now the thing with me is, I don't crush on people that are already married. That's a big turnoff for me, if you can believe that. When you're not available, big turnoff. But Kristen Bell was one of them for me. And now I get to see the person that I knew as Seth in the OC kind of grown up, but he hasn't really changed. Like, again, him and Jay have the same thing. They made a deal with somebody. But nonetheless, I do agree with what Jay touched upon, which is be completely transparent with your partner, good, bad, or indifferent. And I'm stealing that from Jay. I see the eye roll. But I totally agree with that. That hasn't always been easy for me, okay? I'm the one that handles the finances. I know how to budget. I know how to make payments, this, that, and the other. So my wife doesn't push to know what's going on. She just knows that I'm taking care of it. But when something comes up, and it even surprises me, okay, I will let her know. If it's something small, I'm like, okay, let me just deal with this, and so long as it doesn't affect her. But that's not always the right way, okay? You need to just say everything to your partner. But again, these are two people that are dating. But yeah, take it upon like Jay. Tell them everything. Now, you could see that Kristen Bell's character, she was damaged, and it took a lot of ovarian fortitude. I will give her that, because not many people, men, women, or whatever noun you are, will share that part, okay, about the background with your family. And yes, that can be a big issue that you definitely want to lay on the table. You should let the person know, the potential partner, suitor, future husband, hey, I have something going on because I have this trauma that happened, whether it was caused by your family, somebody else, an event. Tell them that, please, because that will help them understand you, or try to understand you, or at the very least, always be a shoulder to cry on, and you can just wrap your arms around them, just like Seth's character. I know that's not his character. He was slowly coming up to her as she was opening up. That is a great thing. That's a great moment. And that, believe it or not, is a good reward when your partner wants to just embrace you, even in the smallest of ways, because he just touched her shoulders, just to be easy. That's what two people that want a relationship and a marriage, that is a part of it. You have your ride or die right there now. And it's early on and they know. Now with the whole Jewish thing, like Jay said, I've seen this, okay? I think the most popular movie for that is My Big Fat Greek Wedding. And if you haven't seen it, please, by all means. Only the first one, though, because the two sequels were not that great. I would recommend that to Jay if he hasn't watched it. But again, I can't recommend things anymore to him because the first one, it was just okay. But nonetheless, with the whole Jewish thing, yes, it doesn't always work if they're not. And yes, the whole conversion thing, that's a big deal, especially if they are willing to do it. But please just have try to get all the check marks of what you want in a partner and in a relationship. Put it all out there at the beginning. Save yourselves time, quite frankly, because if the big key things are something that either one of you don't want to put out there, best to know now. And it was quite touching where Kristen Bell said, "Are you going to break my heart?" At the beginning, if we're into each other, we don't want to do that. But if it ends up happening, hopefully it's not deliberate, okay? Especially when two people vibe at the beginning. Just, that's all you can do. Try to protect yourself.
And yes, I have seen your Big Fat Greek Wedding. It was a date night. It was a date that me and my wife went on when we were actually dating. So there you go. So yeah, I do agree with you. The other two movies were crap. First one was really good. I do agree with that.
Hey, how about that? A recommendation that I just made in the future, Jay actually liked. So we're one for one, somebody's.